What's up, adventuresses? In today's episode, we are going to be talking about why India needs to be on your bucket list of places to ride horses if it's not already on your bucket list. I'm going to be taking you to India, land of Marwari horses, palaces, and fortresses. We're going to discuss how you can ride horses in India, what to see, top travel tips, and of course, where you can book your next horse riding expedition to India. Now, for a deeper, fully loaded book about how to ride horses in India, I would actually recommend that you grab a copy of our World Travel Guide for Equestrians. This is actually a fascinating book. It has India in here, of course, as well as some places that you can actually book your trips and ride. You can actually find this book on Amazon worldwide. If you are like me and you really like paperback books, this is definitely one of those like coffee table kind of books that just like you have to have. But if you're a little bit of a nomad and a paper book is not really an option for you, then don't worry. As a gift to you for hitting the subscribe button and actually liking the video, then you can actually grab a copy of your book in the link, okay? A free digital ebook, okay? All you have to do is tell me which email to send it to. So go ahead, you can find the link below, and yeah, my gift to you. So without any further delay, let's get into how to ride horses in India. I'm going to be covering how you can ride horses in India, but before I get started, I just wanted to give a little disclaimer. Be sure that you, when you're booking a horse riding trip anywhere, it doesn't matter, India, anywhere, make sure that you actually check the, horse welfare. That is the number one priority that you should be checking. So please do your research. We actually verify stables. If I've actually visited a stables and seen it with my own eyes and seen that the horses are happy and healthy, then we actually do verify stables. So you can find verified stables in our catalog. But of course, there's thousands of stables around the world in 180 countries. So, it's just physically impossible for me to visit and verify each and every one. So if it's important to you to find a verified stables, then go ahead and grab a copy of your book and you can just kind of travel to the verified stables. Otherwise, do your research, make sure that the horses are healthy and happy, and if you join our Facebook group, Equestrian Adventuresses, you can actually post in there and ask people, hey, have you actually been there? Have you seen these horses? What do you think? So, let's dive in. India is one of those countries that is extremely unique, okay? You kind of have to see it to believe it. You're going to be overwhelmed, and all of your senses are going to be hyperactivated, okay? Your smells, your sights, the things that you're going to see and experience, it's just, I can't explain it, okay? But it's just one of those experiences that the only way to see India is to go to India, okay? You will never find another country on this planet like India. I lived in India for 2 years, working with horses in a variety of stables, starting riding clubs, so I have a lot of experience in India, and I can say that if you haven't seen the Marwari horses, okay, they're actually not allowed to be exported from India, so if you want to ride a Marwari horse, you're going to have to go to India, and they are adorable. They're cute little curved ears that touch at the top. They are adorable. And not just that, but the Marwari horses are extremely unique. They're not too big. They're a bit small, like they're short, but they're very compact. They're very sturdy, and they're great for endurance riding. So, they are actually ideal for long distance, covering ground. And the Marwari horses, they actually came from Persia, and they actually were war horses. So that's why in India you can find sports like tent pegging. These are all war games that they've developed, and of course now they just sort of play it as an actual sport. So if you go to India, definitely watching a little tent pegging match is well worth it. These guys are extremely skilled at stabbing a little peg with a spear while their horse is galloping full speed. It's pretty spectacular. My personal reason for why I wanted to see India is exactly that. It's just one of those unique places that is unlike anywhere else on earth, and I really felt like I would learn a lot, and that I did, on a spiritual level, an emotional level, and a mental level. India challenges you, it challenges the senses, it challenges the digestion, but it has very friendly people, really good food, and it's just one of those places that, again, it's just incredibly unique, and it's a very hustly and bustly kind of place. I think I wanted to go there for the change, like kind of the shock to my senses, and to kind of step out of my, I'm from America, and I just wanted to sort of step out of my comfort zone and experience a culture, which is extremely colorful and completely different to how I was raised. And India definitely achieved that. The great thing about India is you are going to experience, deserts, mountains, forests, colorful cities, palaces, fortresses, the Taj Mahal. There's a never-ending list of terrain and things that you can visit. You have the jungle. It is a hot and humid place, so definitely, make sure that you have t-shirts. You want to wear t-shirts which are covering your shoulders and things because, it is a Hindu country. They have Jainism and Sikhism, and, they are very culturally religious people, so you do want to dress respectfully, a little bit more modest, have a polo shirt or a, loose kind of button-down shirt, something which breathes, something that's cotton, and then of course your normal riding breeches is totally fine. There are 2 seasons in India, okay? There's basically hot and wet, okay? That's the monsoon season. Now, in the monsoon season, obviously it can rain quite heavily, so you probably don't want to travel there in the monsoon season. However, in the summer also, it's extremely hot, and you're just not going to be able, if you're in the desert in the Rajasthan region, you're just not really going to be able to ride in the daytime in the heat of the day because it is pretty hot. The best time to ride is actually between October and March, and if you're looking to ride horses in India, there are 2 places which you can ride. There's actually a lot of other places, but there's 2 which you can find in the book, which I recommend. One of them is Horse India, and the second one is Princess Trails. Now, we have a lot of members in our group that have actually ridden with both of these outfitters, so I suggest that if you haven't already joined our Facebook group, you go and you check it out. Maybe search for past posts, have a little peep on the photos and things, and then obviously check out their websites, contact them, see who you fit with best. And of course, if you're looking to ride at Horse India or with Princess Trails, you can find all of the information for them in our book, in our guidebooks, or you can just check out their websites. I'm going to include links in the descriptions. If you want more options about places to ride in India, then the Horse Riding in Every Country catalog is definitely for you. This is kind of a phone book directory. Again, you can find it on Amazon worldwide. I'm going to include the link in the description. But basically, if, there's a country, we found horses and we put it in this book, okay? It's it's like a phone book. So yeah, you're never going to get bored. And it lists also several other stables in India, which you can find available. So if you're looking for more just listings of stables, then definitely the Horse Riding in Every Country catalog is ideal. However, if you want actually information on places that you should visit and must-see destinations and tips and, travel things, then I would say the World Travel Guide for Equestrians is for you. Some highlights that I would suggest that you do not want to miss out in India. Now, if you're flying in via New Delhi, then you want to go and see the Akshardham Temple. This is outside of New Delhi. You can actually get there via metro. And if you're a woman, you can actually ride in the ladies-only carriages on the metro, which is great. It's the first couple of carriages. I don't remember if it's the first 3 or whatever. But if you see a bunch of ladies, go in that one. It's actually really good for safety, especially if you're traveling alone and you're a little bit nervous. Then I would highly recommend that you ride in the ladies' carriage or, of course, take a taxi or a tuk-tuk, whatever is most comfortable to you. India is a very affordable country to travel. It's not too expensive, obviously, and, for you to ride the metro, you're going to save a lot of money and explore around. The reason I recommend the Akshardham Temple is because it's massive, it has beautiful carvings, it's a bit of a newer temple, you're actually not allowed to take photos inside, but it is a very beautiful, architecturally speaking, place to visit, and I really enjoyed when I went and saw the Akshardham Temple. It was actually one of those kind of bucket list checks that I really appreciated. Another thing, of course, you have to see the Taj Mahal. The Taj Mahal, it's not very close to Delhi, it's a couple hours drive, so, depending on, they actually do have a bullet train now, so you can take the train, or, of course, you can book a journey to the Taj Mahal. Or you can also contact your, horse stable outfitters and ask them, hey, I want to see the Taj Mahal. How do we make that happen? And of course, you are never going to run out of palaces and fortresses, when you're exploring around in Rajasthan. And it's actually, in my opinion, way better to see it from horseback anyways. But you're never going to run out of things to do and see. And of course, there's the Pushkar camels, and there's the pink city, Jaipur, and there's the blue city, Jodhpur. Udaipur is definitely a gorgeous city, definitely worth a visit. So there is a plethora of things to do in India, and to be honest, one lifetime is simply not enough. So you might actually plan, a few trips to India. If you're interested in traveling the world on horseback, but you really don't know if you're a confident enough rider or a solo traveler, you're a little bit concerned for your safety when you go abroad, or, this is your first time to travel alone. And also, with your riding abilities, you don't necessarily have a sticky butt, and you're a little bit worried that, you're in your 50s or whatever and you don't really want to fall off just yet because, you don't want to go to the hospital in India, which is fair. So if you are interested in, becoming a more confident rider in the saddle and actually developing your skills as a rider and a solo traveler, then I would highly recommend you check out our Equestrian Adventuress's Masterclass. This is actually available, it's an online course. It's like 7 hours long. There's 3 different modules. So if you haven't already, I'm going to include a link in the description. You can go and check out our online course. Basically, it takes you from zero to hero within a matter of hours. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching and happy trails.